Hello, and welcome to another episode of Walk the Dog Cinema. We're out and about. Nice summer morning, getting a nice fresh walk in. Lately, we've been getting 2 walks in, pretty good ones. One in the morning, one in the afternoon right now to enjoy the holiday break from work and just taking life a little easy right now, which is good. Always good to recharge the batteries and enjoy life. Been watching more TV episodes than movies lately, but trying to get caught up on any series that I have been watching. But today we're going to talk about Roadgames, a movie starring Stacy Keach, Jamie Lee Curtis, who doesn't inherently have that big of a part in it. She kind of got hired. She came off of The Fog and obviously Halloween. I even want to say maybe Terror Train, but her dad helped produce this movie, Tony Curtis. He used a pen name basically in this, and she kind of did it for him. She has it's almost like the same part as The Fog, but kind of interesting. The movie's kind of like Rear Window with Riggs a little bit. That's kind of what was fashioned. Richard Franklin, who was the Australian director. This takes place in Australia with a truck driver who's basically witnesses a murder for the most part, or has suspicions of such, and his dingo dog basically sniffs out some body parts. The killer sees it, and then it's a cat and mouse like duel on the road across Australia, going west to Perth, and meet up some crazy characters, and we'll see if he's actually a killer and the suspense of all that. It's kind of the basis of the movie. It is a little bit of a slow burn at the beginning. It's very much a character study in that sense of Stacy Keach. This was heavy. Is the 1981 movie with the Ozploitation that was kind of starting to go on with Mad Max, Road Warrior. Australia started kind of coming online where they were exploring Australia as a country, and just kind of the weird goings on that they would use for the outback. And like I said, the road games part, it does play a strong motive in this. Richard Franklin was thought of as kind of the Hitchcockian Australian director, which is kind of interesting because of this movie. He went on to do Psycho 2, the follow-up, which with Anthony Perkins, that came out in '82, which actually, if you've ever seen that, it's actually pretty decent sequel. I mean, obviously you can't touch Psycho in that sense, but for a sequel, it does everything with the twists and turns. And and I'll say, he does have some Hitchcockian kind of elements to his work, though. To say, it's Hitchcocking, and I mean, there's some elements to it. Definitely, how the mystery develops, and I wouldn't say the dark humor, the black humor in that sense, but there are some moments where they try to put levity in there. But it's very much like British or Australian humor. It's kind of dry. It kind of stands in that element. So let's talk a little bit about Roadgames. So first and foremost, the movie's well acted. All the actors involved. Stacy Keach really has to, he's on the screen basically the whole movie. He carries the whole hour and 40-minute runtime basically. There might be only 5 minutes of the film that he's not in. Boswell, his dingo, is really a cool little character in this, and They do set up a joke at the very beginning of the movie that pays off at the end. A little bit of dry humor in that sense, but it also pays off in the scope of the mystery. So kudos to the filmmakers for doing that. Boswell's a cool little dingo. Leave it at that. It's I kind of laughed. I like dry humor. It's kind of funny in that regard. It works well within the context of the film. So, you know, like I said, kudos. But you know, there's long stretches where it's kind of interesting because the director is trying to create some claustrophobia, like a la The Rear Window, as the mystery's unfolding, or as, you know, for our antagonist here, our hero, and obviously it gets pushed because of Jamie Lee Curtis's character. She doesn't really have much of a part. I mean, it's a lot like The Fog. Comes in, kind of this kooky hitchhiker. Find out like she's kind of don't want to do the spoilers thing, because if you've never seen it, I say watch it. It's a good little thriller. There's not a lot of blood or guts or anything, but it's kind of fun with all the developments and the twists and turns of it. But you know, I think for me, one standout is when he picks up this other hitchhiker lady that you see at the beginning. So there's characters on the road that he clearly runs into that kind of pay off at intervals. But this one lady with her family, after she gets kicked out by the husband of the car, and he picks her up, is kind of kooky, where they're playing, you know, a game, and it kind of devolves from there. Like, just it's, to me, I mean, it's almost like British humor, but at the same time, it kind of feels like some Crocodile Dundee humor. I mean, the Aussies have their own kind of dry humor that isn't entirely British. I mean, it is Australian, obviously, but it kind of has its derived from British humor. So, you know, that's where I say, if you're not into British humor in that regard, the scene kind of won't pay off for you. But I kind of like how the payoff of the whole scene and just the whole nature of that character during that element. I like moments where Stacy Keach talks to himself and Boswell, his little dingo dog. It's really cool. There's a moment where the guy he's kind of, I wouldn't say chasing, but that's chasing him. Like I said, Roadgames, they're playing this cat and mouse on the road to Perth. You know, where the van he's following, the guy doesn't inherently show it, so that's good, but it does something to the dingo. Doesn't kill the dingo, so I'm just gonna let you know the dingo does live throughout the movie. That's the one spoiler. But it's really cool to see like how Stacy Keach reacts to it. As an animal owner, obviously, walking the Roca dog here every day and everything, I'd have the kind of the same response, and how he responds to everybody else who responds to his dingo feels very real. So I don't know if Stacy Keach owns the dog, or he did at 81, but he did a great job kind of displaying that. Especially in this, he is an American in Australia, and it's very much American values in that regard when it comes to our animals. Those of us that love our animals, there's a prevailing aspect to the whole movie in terms of him and Boswell. So it's kind of cool to see that, where like I said, Boswell isn't just fluff. You know, but there's also some parts of the movie, there's not long stretches, but there are some stretches that it does drag a little bit, that they kind of need to keep moving. I understand those points of the movie. I'm not saying they need to be cut shorter. I don't think at that point, when they do arrive, where he's kind of driving the road, and again, they're trying to build claustrophobia, in the expanse of the outback, which we know is a lot of land. And you know, the director tries his hardest to really narrow that, so there isn't a lot of wide angle shots of the landscape or the truck just out there on its own. They really tried to fill the void with people and objects and interesting landscape, but keeping it tight. So I get it, but that those couple parts of the movie, maybe probably an hour into it, and then about an hour and 20 minutes where we got 20 minutes to go, kind of the wheels just kind of like churn a little bit harder, and so you just kind of got to give it 5 minutes to kind of get past that, and then it gets going again, which is a shame, because you know, you could probably have cut a good 5 minutes from it, get it to down hour and 35, and it's a tight, clean movie. But man, those, you know, that 5 minutes, those 10 minutes are, you know, they do kind of drag. So could have tightened it up a little bit on the film, but this is one of those movies that, you know, back in the day, I kind of always heard about a little bit. You know, it always always was marketed as an exploitation film, and like I said, it's purely PG. It's, you know, it's I think it's a nice, you know, romp. It's entertaining, and it's a thriller, you know, in the Hitchcockian vein in that sense. So I was glad I kind of watched it, and let me know what you think in the comments below. Everybody have a good one.